Alright, Lions, so in less than 12 hours time, we are going to be getting our next banner announcement, our final mid-month banner for the year 2024, and also our final banner before the end-of-year banner that I know a lot of people, myself included, are saving for. For the most part, this might be the final hurdle, more so for our orbs, because the idea for any end-of-year banner, as always, is to have enough to go to pity. That way, you don't get shafted, right? If you are planning to go deep on some pretty hype and powerful characters, which usually is expected for an end-of-year banner. With that said, though, this upcoming mid-month, for those that missed the memo, is going to be Christmas Sternritters. How exactly do we know that? Well, again, 2 weeks ago, we did get 2 Christmas-themed backgrounds data mines, and that pretty much confirms we were going to get 2 Christmas banners. And if we're getting 2 Christmas characters, especially in a period that we are currently in right now, where we're getting nothing but Soripers and Quincy's, it was expected and assumed that one banner would be Soriper focused and the other banner would be Quincy focused. Our most recent end of month banner was actually Isane, Nemu, and also Retsu. Weirdly enough, they were classed as 1000 Blood War characters, but this was the expected Soriper Christmas banner, so now it's definitely very, very likely, almost confirmed at this point, that mid-month is going to feature 2 Christmas Sternritters. And the question right now is, who are those 2 characters going to be? Unfortunately, we have to talk about it. We kind of know what the banner is. It has been leaked. I don't like talking about leaks. The only time I like talking about stuff that, ahead of time are when K-Lab mess up. A prime example of this is early this year when Menina, Candice, and also Bambietta, their files were put into the game early, so we were able to talk about it. When it comes to just names and rumors that spread around Discord and Reddit, I don't like talking about them, but I'm pretty confident we know what this upcoming mid-month banner is. And I've been kind of hinted at this, over 2 weeks ago on who it could potentially be, so we are going to talk about that in this video. If you don't want to know spoilers, I would recommend clicking off the video and come back to the channel in 12 hours time when we do react to the 2 new characters. So with that said, on your screen right now is the hint that I received 2 weeks ago. It was a random comment that I have a reason to believe is actually correct. Not sure if this person was the originator, but the first character we are going to be getting is a character that likes to eat a lot during the festive holiday. And with the context of us getting a Sternritter, because it's likely we are going to get some Quincy's, right? That can really only mean like one character. If you're under the impression that we're getting Christmas Sternritters and it's a character that likes to eat a lot, but that can only mean one character, and that is Liltotto. And honestly, it probably makes sense too, because she's the last Bambi to be added to Brave Souls. Never expected her first character to be a seasonal character, a Christmas one, but she fits the theme, I would like to say so, and I'm perfectly okay with it, right? Because then that means in the year 2024, we ended up getting every member of the Bambis, just not a canon version of Liltotto. And for anyone that is potentially weirded out that we might be getting a seasonal character before a canon character, it might seem weird if you've only been playing the game for like a year or two, but back when Brave Souls first started and every new character added as a 5-star was almost a new character in the game, right? It's rare for us nowadays, besides Sternritters, to get new characters never before been playable in Brave Souls. But back when the game first came out, it wasn't uncommon for your first 5-star to be a seasonal character. Using some examples, Rangiku, her first character, playable 5-star, was a seasonal. Rukia, Orohime, first 5-star character, was a seasonal character. Rangiku in particular, for like the first year or two, was only ever getting seasonal characters. Kisuke, believe it or not, Jushiro, Lisa, Hiyori, Cayenne, all their first 5-stars were once more seasonal characters. It was a while for certain characters before they ever got a canon character. Another example, again, Yachiru, Momo, Shuhei, Nanao, Shunsui, Ururu, even characters like Kukaku and also Hanachiro, their first 5-star summonable characters, I think Lilinette is one of them too, were only ever seasonal character for quite some time. I mean, in the case for Kukaku, she's only ever had summonable 5-star characters as seasonal units. She has one canon character in-game, and it's a Meadow Exchange character, so it's not uncommon for someone's first ever 5-star character, playable character in-game, to be a seasonal character. It just hasn't happened in a while because we don't really get that many new characters in-game first-time playable besides the occasional Sternritter that we have been getting over the last 6 or so months. And the idea that we are getting Liltotto, again, I'm down for it, right? It's the last Bambi that we have to get, and we should probably also emphasize that right now, right? Expect a lot of Bambis in the future. It's a popular female group. There's fans of each individual Bambi member, right? Bambietta, Candice, Menina, Liltotto, Giselle. We saw early this year that we had a swimsuit Bambietta, Candice, and also Menina, while at the same time getting new versions, playable characters of a base Candice, a base Menina, zombie Bambietta, and also Giselle. At this point, it's very clear that all the Bambis are going to get a playable base form, a Vol standing form, and then eventually, for certain characters, a zombie form. And we saw in the most recent Thousand Year Blood War episode that Menina and Candice were turned into zombies, so that's another Candice, another Menina that's going to get added to Brave Souls. At the same time, at least from the looks of it right now, the 2 seasonal banners that we have gotten that include Quincy's have included a member from the Bambis. Again, we got Menina, Candice, and also Bambietta, and then now with this banner, we're getting a potential Liltotto. Likely in 2025, we might potentially be getting a seasonal Giselle. And as a Giselle fan, I'm now kind of a tad bit salty that Giselle is the only character of the Bambis to not get a seasonal character. But I can't be all that salty, right? Or more so greedy, because Giselle got a really powerful character, a canon one at that too. I would like to see a seasonal Giselle in the future. Likewise with Liltotto, I would also like to see her Volstanig and also canon character playable as well. Which obviously isn't not going to happen. Just because we're getting a seasonal Liltotto now doesn't mean that we're not going to get a canon character in the future. And like I said, Liltotto kind of matches the vibe as a Christmas character. She's a character who likes to eat a lot, so her whole gameplay could just be her feasting on some Christmas dinner. It's kind of like Kirio, I've been saying, would kind of work as a Christmas character. Not like I'd be super excited for it, but she kind of just fits the vibe. Kirio's whole thing is that she likes to cook a lot, and she could be cooking me some Christmas dinner. Stuff like that, it kind of makes sense for her to be a Christmas character, likewise with Liltotto. Now, with that, for our second character that we are going to get, this one might be a type of controversial, maybe not, I don't know, but judging from the hint here, it does seem like we are going to be getting a Christmas Gremmy. So Gremmy is getting his second character playable this year, after getting an anniversary character, and probably by many people deemed as the best character in the entire game. Now, keep in mind, I'm a Gremmy fan. I like Gremmy. And Gremmy is one of those characters, again, that it's like the perfect character to do as a seasonal character. His whole powers is imagination. He literally thinks of something, it becomes reality. So him being a Christmas character, a Halloween character, any seasonal character, you can really do anything with that. So I'm really excited to see how he is going to look as a Christmas unit, because I guess his whole thing could just be him creating presents to give to everyone. Maybe he's the Santa Claus that Brave Souls has been hinting at in the data mines, right? Because the background is called Santa, the music is called Santa. Maybe Gremmy is actually the Santa for 2024. And having a banner with Liltotto and also Gremmy, it just would look visually pleasing to a certain extent, if that kind of makes sense, because they're both like the same height, they're both blondes. Not like they ever like interact with each other, but having a Gremmy and also Liltotto Christmas banner, it would just look cool to see, I'll be honest. And the 2 character choice in here does make sense too. Both Liltotto and Gremmy, I would like to say, are popular enough to be seasonal characters. And again, I feel like they just match the vibe as Christmas units. So that potentially is going to be our Christmas themed banner for the year 2024, our upcoming banner, Gremmy and also Liltotto in Christmas outfits. Now with that said, let's have a look at the Guild Quest schedule to see what we could potentially expect these characters to offer, because likely mid-month units are designed for guild quests. That way, despite them being worse than end-of-month units, they still can perform and be a potential best-in slot for a certain guild quest phase. So this upcoming mid-month, we are going to be getting a no affiliation guild quest and also the Stemrator guild quest, both melee ones. Now, in all honesty, granted, it's a seasonal character. They could if they wanted to. I can't see Gremmy be a melee unit. So likely what we are going to see here is a potential new Stemrator killer for the melee guild quest phase. And I think that's definitely needed, because right now we only have one good SP unit, that being Ichigo. If you don't have Ichigo, there's basically no one else to use. We'll talk about that in a second. What we could potentially see though is the next week, right? We have the ranged holo guild quest and then the melee Sniper guild quest. I doubt we're going to get a melee Sniper killer. We just literally got one. So I guess in terms of what Gremmy could potentially offer, we might be getting another ranged holo killer, which is kind of funny because the current Gremmy is a ranged holo killer. So we go back to our album and have a look at what currently does exist in game. Let's sort by Stamina killer and make them a melee character. Like I said here, there's really only one good SP unit, and that is Ichigo. And at this point, despite him still being an amazing unit, is a year old. We could potentially get a character better than him. You know, the Basby that just came out, when they're both 1 out of 5, they basically compete with each other. So we very well, and I feel like it's needed to get a new melee stammer to kill him, and that, in my opinion, could be Liltotto. It would also be very good too, because what you could potentially do is use Master Masculine. He's the no attack damage character, the booster for his respective guild quest phase. Him and a potential Liltotto would work very well together, especially if you do then use Gremmy. Remember, Gremmy does give Quincy characters 20% more strong attack damage, and then also 30% more damage to enemies that are inflicted with an ailment. I would expect Liltotto to have lacerate, because that would make sense if she's chomping down on you. And I just like the idea of using two Quincy's together alongside Gremmy. We can kind of do that right now in the ranged Aaroniero guild quest with Bambi and also Robert. I just like using Quincy's because, you know, they're still the new thing in Brave Souls. We have a lot of Soripers. We've been using Soripers for years. I like when Quincy's get a time to shine. And the idea that I could potentially run a, you know, Mask, Gremmy for support, and Liltotto as a main for a potential guild quest phase does sound kind of cool. And again, like you'll see here, we have access to like 4 NAD characters. While only 2 of them are actually really good, this guild quest phase does need good SP units, and Liltotto can be exactly that. Like I said, when it comes to Gremmy, right, I feel like he's going to be a NAD character. And with the idea, he always could be a melee character, but I feel like he suits to be ranged. Like we saw with the current Gremmy, it would be really funny if we do get a new Gremmy that's designed for guild quests, more specifically the ranged holo guild quests, and they're both just being Gremmy, right? This time, though, he'll be a normal attack damage character to go hand in hand with Gremmy. And that wouldn't be the first, right? I mean, keep in mind, if we have a look at Quincy Killer, right? Literally, we had a Quincy Killer Retsu. She's a normal attack damage character. And then like 2 months later, we got another Retsu, an SP unit for the ranged Quincy guild quest. So right now, the best team for ranged Quincy guild quest does consist of 2 Retsus. So it'd be really funny if they do that again, this time for Gremmy. And remember, we can do that. We can use characters with the same names. There's a lot of gacha games out there that they don't let you use the same character twice on a team. I'm glad Brave Souls isn't one of them, because remember, Gremmy does make Quincy characters better. So even if it is Gremmy himself, putting a hypothetical normal attack damage character like Gremmy on the team with the other Gremmy, it would make the normal attack damage Gremmy a lot better. I would say this potential normal attack damage unit, if Gremmy is going to be the ranged holo killer, isn't going to have a team boost. They don't really need it, to be fair, but it wouldn't be bad because Shunsui does exist. He's the team booster. And now that I'm looking at it, to be fair, other than Shunsui, we haven't had a no attack damage character for the ranged holo guild quest for quite some time. I mean, we're talking like after the 6th anniversary with Shuei was the last character that we did receive. Obviously, this guild quest doesn't need any SP units. They have plenty. Gremmy is all you really need. So a normal attack damage character would definitely be welcomed. And if it is Gremmy, that'll be really funny, because then you can make a double Gremmy team and you can replicate his soul bomb with him making a double of himself. Maybe it is canon that he created a Christmas version of himself to give out presents. And yeah, other than that, I think that's all we really need to talk about. But either way, lads, with that said, that was the video for today, going over our upcoming mid-month banner. I guess it's not really a prediction. At the same time, it kind of is, but unfortunate as it is, the banner was spoiled to us. While it's not 2000% confirmed, it likely is going to be Liltotto and also Gremmy, which character choice I'm perfectly down for. I think these 2 characters make sense being Christmas characters. They work well together as a duo, at least appearance-wise. They're both being kind of small and blondes. And if we are getting more additional support for the melee Stamrator guild quest and ranged holo guild quest, I definitely welcome it, especially if they are Stamrator units, as they'll make their team a lot better with the idea of using 9th anniversary Gremmy to give them more damage. I don't like talking about spoilers. I try to avoid them as possible. I don't like being spoiled on banners, but this one was kind of unavoidable. So shame on the people that are going around screaming to everyone on Discord and Reddit on what the banner is actually going to be. And shout out to those that know the banner, don't spoil it. And also those that do know the banner, but maybe give hints to the community so we can speculate and theorize what we could potentially be getting. It's a lot more fun that way, instead of just outright being told who the characters are, you know? And since we are talking about spoilers, that means we are going to do a prediction highlight in tomorrow's video when we react to the banners, because likely everyone in the comment is going to say Gremmy and also Liltotto. But I'm excited to see what you lads think about Gremmy and Liltotto being the Christmas characters this year. Again, I'm perfectly down for it. I'm excited to see how they will look in tomorrow's banner reveal. Hope to see you lads there. Take care and peace.